Imagine driving down a lonely highway at midnight, the trees closing in, the world dead silent. You think you are alone until you see someone on the side of the road. She looks desperate, harmless, just a hitchhiker needing a ride. But what if picking her up didn't just change your night? It trapped you in a nightmare you could never escape. Tonight's story isn't just about ghost. It's about a curse. A curse that once you caught in, there's no way out. This is the endless road. I don't know how to explain this without sounding insane. All I can say is, if you're ever driving alone late at night and you see a stretch of highway that feels too quiet, turn around. Don't be stubborn like I was. I thought I was saving time. Instead, I lost everything. It was around midnight when I left my friend's place. I'd promised my wife I'd be home before dawn, so I looked for the fastest route back. Maps showed a lonely state highway cutting through thick woods. The road was a straight shot, 30 miles of nothing, saving me 40 minutes. It felt like a no-brainer. At first, everything seemed fine. The night was quiet, the road smooth, my headlights carving tunnels through the trees. But the further I went, the less natural it felt. No signs, no houses, not even the glint of animals' eyes. Just endless black trees pressing in like walls. I tried to distract myself with the radio, but it was just static. I shut it off, and that's when I realized something. I hadn't seen another car in over 40 minutes. Not a single pair of headlights behind me. Not one car passing by. It was like I was the only person left alive. Then I noticed the mile markers. At first, I didn't think much of it. The little reflective signs on the side of the road, 124, 125, 126. But after 15 minutes, when I passed 124 again, my stomach dropped. I told myself I must have misread it. But then I saw 125, then 126, and then 124 again. I tried to brush it off, telling myself I was tired, maybe seeing things. But when I passed that same graffiti tag sign for the third time, the one that said "Hell Ahead" in red spray paint, I knew the road was repeating. I felt my hands sweat on the steering wheel. I thought maybe I'd made a wrong turn somewhere. So I slowed down, scanning for an exit, a side road, anything. But there was nothing. Just the endless ribbon of highway, unspooling in front of me, pulling me forward like a trap. Then I saw her, standing by the gas station. A young woman in a faded white dress, hair hanging like a curtain. Her hand was raised, thumb pointed out. Every nerve in my body screamed at me to drive faster, but instead, my foot eased off the gas. Something about her presence felt magnetic, pulling me closer whether I wanted to or not. As I passed, her head lifted. For a second, I saw her face. Her skin was grey, her eyes too black, her smile too wide. I slammed the accelerator, my tires squealing, my heart thundered in my chest. I told myself it was just imagination, a trick of the fog, fatigue playing games. But when I glanced in the mirror, she was gone. The road was empty. And then, 10 minutes later, I saw her again, standing in the exact same spot, head bowed, waiting. I don't remember deciding to stop. My foot just slammed the brake as I passed her for the second time. Gravel scattered under my tires. The car screeched to a halt. and my headlights fixed on the trees. She was gone. No figure on the roadside. No pale dress. Just mist and shadows. I took a deep breath, put the car back in gear, and kept driving. I promised myself that at the next landmark, any landmark, I'd turn around. But the highway just stretched forward, featureless, repeating. That's when the radio crackled to life. I hadn't touched it, but static hissed through the speakers, sharp and loud. Beneath it, I heard something else, a voice, faint but unmistakable, a woman's voice whispering, "Keep driving." I slammed the radio off, and then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement. I snapped my head to the right, and there she was, sitting in the passenger seat. She didn't move, didn't breathe. I choked on my own scream, waving into opposite lane. "Get out!" I shouted, my voice breaking. But she stayed silent, her hands folded neatly in her lap. I slammed the brakes, the car jerking to a stop. I fumbled throwing open the door, stumbling into the cold night air. She's gone. The passenger seat was now empty. I climbed back in, slamming the door shut, and pressed the gas. My mind raced. I thought maybe if I sped up, if I drove fast enough, I'd break free of whatever this was. I pushed the needle past 100, but after what felt like 20 minutes, my headlights landed on something familiar. The same graffiti sign, "Hell Ahead," and mile marker 124. I'd been here before, over and over, my eyes darting to the tree line. That's when I saw her again, not on the roadside this time, standing directly in the center of the lane ahead, in the mist. I slammed the brakes, tires screeching, and the car stopped just feet from her. My headlights cut across her face, and I saw it clearly. The black eyes, the cracked lips stretched too wide in that awful smile. She tilted her head slowly, unnaturally far, like her neck was snapping. Before I could react, she vanished. I wanted to turn back, but every direction felt the same. Forward, backward, it didn't matter. The road wasn't going to let me go. Finally, I broke. I screamed into the void of the car, pounding the steering wheels. My voice raw. "What do you want from me?" For the first time, there was an answer. A whisper that filled the air, colder than ice. "Free." I floored the gas pedal, desperate to outrun her. But the road mocked me. No matter how fast I went, no matter how many miles clicked by on the odometer, I ended up right back where I started. I was trapped inside a nightmare loop, and she was the one holding the wheel. Her humming started, faint at first, then louder, filling the car. My hands clutched the wheel so tight, my knuckles turned white. "Shut up!" I shouted, but the sound of her song didn't stop. I slammed my foot on the accelerator. The road straightened. The gas station came back into view, the one where I'd first seen her. My chest heaved in relief. Maybe this was my chance. Maybe the loop had broken. I slowed down, pulling toward the flickering lights. But something was wrong. The station was decayed, burned out, covered in soot. Its windows were shattered, pumps rusted and bent, and in the doorway stood a figure. It's her. Again. She lifted her hand and waved. My body moved without my command. I pulled into the lot, the tires crunching over broken glass. She opened the passenger door and slid in. But this time, her body didn't look ghostly. She was solid, as real as me. She turned to me, leaned close, and whispered, "You are done." The world outside shifted instantly. I was no longer behind the wheel. I was standing on the side of the road. But when I looked down at my hands, they weren't mine anymore. They were pale, veins black, and rotting beneath the skin. My reflection shimmered in the glass of the car window. My face was gone. In its place was a hollow, ghostly mask. Headlights appeared in the distance. A new car, a new driver. The hum of an engine grew louder as it approached. I felt an invisible force pulling me forward, dragging my arm up against my will. I stepped out into the road, hand raised, thumb extended, the same way she had stopped me. The car slowed. I saw the driver's confused, nervous face as the window rolled down. For a split second, I wanted to scream, to warn him, to tell him to turn back. But the curse was stronger. My lips stretched into a smile I didn't control. My voice spilling out in words I didn't mean. Can you give me a ride? And that's when I finally understood. The woman who had haunted me wasn't my tormentor. She had been the victim before me, stuck in this endless road, desperate to escape. The only way out was to lure someone else in, to pass the curse along. Now it was my turn. The loop wasn't hers anymore. It was mine. And that's how it works. The loop never ends. She waved me in, passed it on, and now it's my turn to lure the next traveler. Each victim becomes the hitchhiker, doomed to stand on the road until someone else takes their place. So tell me, next time you're driving alone at night and you see a woman by the roadside with her thumbs out, will you stop? Or will you remember this story and keep driving? If this story gave you chills, don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for another nightmare from the dark side of the road.